This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 1877. Diet Culture, How the Diet Industry is Hurting Moms, by Karges of crystalkarges.com. And I'm Dr. Neil, your very own personal narrator. Hey there, happy Saturday and welcome back to another weekend edition of Optimal Health Daily. This is where I read to you from some of the best health and fitness blogs on the web, and always with a bit of my commentary at the end. Now, I understand that the title of this post talks about how the diet industry is hurting moms. Now, even if you don't identify as a mom or a caregiver, I promise you will find this article helpful. It's applicable to everyone. So with that, don't turn this episode off. So let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. Diet Culture, How the Diet Industry is Hurting Moms, by Karges of crystalkarges.com. Whether we are aware of it or not, our society is saturated in diet culture, permeating everything we interact with. Our lives are infiltrated by it, and unless you are mindfully aware of countering it, it's difficult to avoid. Perhaps it's because I'm an eating disorder survivor or caring for young children in this season of life, but it's sickening to observe the powerful and overtaking force that is diet culture. In the most subtle ways, diet culture calls, whispering fantastical promises of happiness and a carefree life, only to ensnare the vulnerable into the viciousness of what it really is. Mothers may be among the most susceptible to the beckoning lure of diet culture. Mothers, body image, and dieting. Sadly, a majority of the billion-dollar dieting industry is targeted toward mothers. Think about it. Have you seen these headlines screaming across magazines, trending on social media, or splattered across TV commercials? Things like, shred the baby weight, or get bikini body ready, or real ways to lose the weight while breastfeeding, or finally, lose weight, be happy. This is not anything new in our culture. This is something that has evolved over decades. Same messages crafted in different ways. Mothers are a primary target of the vicious dieting industry, with over 50% of those that identify as women estimated to be on a diet or trying to lose weight. Weight loss businesses in the dieting industry are cashing in on many deep-rooted fears that mothers may commonly experience, such as the fear of being rejected, unwanted, unloved, or perhaps feeling unseen or isolated by the mothering experience in general. Dieting is packaged like a fix, with weight loss facilitated as a superficial solution for many of these unspoken fears. It's not uncommon for mothers to feel a sense of vulnerability when it comes to their own bodies following pregnancy and childbirth. Research has shown that women's body satisfaction worsens from 1 to 9 months postpartum, with negative body image being directly correlated with poor mental health and abnormal eating behaviors. Let's take a closer look at some of the obstacles mothers are facing postpartum that influence poor body image and increases that ever so enticing call of dieting. Lack of postpartum support. Sadly, many women go from having regular prenatal care during pregnancy to absolutely no support once transitioning into postpartum. Aside from one checkup appointment 6 to 8 weeks after delivery, a woman is disconnected from support and care during a time in her life when she needs it most. In other developed countries around the world, it's not uncommon for women to have extended postpartum care, where new mothers and babies are attended to while healing from childbirth. Sadly, in America, our culture is utterly lacking in postpartum care, leaving countless mothers isolated during a vulnerable time. Obsessiveness with the pre-baby bounce back. The media goes crazy over celebrities after they give birth, obsessing over their ability to return to a pre-pregnancy shape. Let's call this out for what it is, shall we? This is not normal, people. In our culture, postpartum bodies are not celebrated or honored, but rather spoken about in disdain and disgust. Why is there even comparison between a woman's pre-pregnancy and postpartum bodies? Last time I checked, we have the same one body that miraculously changes to grow, birth, and nurture a new human being. Yet we are bombarded with the idea that our postpartum body is a bad thing, something that we should try to change as quickly as possible. Unrealistic portrayal of women's bodies. When everything we see has been photoshopped or altered in some form or fashion, we are brainwashed to believe that our bodies should look like the unicorn that doesn't exist. Most advertisements are carefully crafted to remove any revealing signs of motherhood, including stretch marks, postpartum bellies, swollen boobs, and more. This perpetuates the idea that these hard-won badges are a negative thing. Reclaim motherhood. Find freedom from dieting. When you take a closer look at our values and priorities as a whole society, it's easy to see how diet culture is indeed sabotaging mothers today. Overall lack of postpartum support, the disregard for a woman's postpartum body, along with a powerfully driven dieting industry, leads many innocent women into a trap, believing that dieting will somehow help them fix their bodies when there was nothing broken in the first place. My hope and desire is that those that identify as female, mothers especially, will continue to find support throughout their motherhood journey in whatever season of life they might be. I hope, too, that women lost in the dieting culture can learn to resist, reclaiming motherhood in its rightful form, one that should be untainted by the notion that we somehow need to change our bodies in order to love and be loved. The truth is that our bodies are capable of the miraculous, and we should celebrate this truth, refusing to dwell in angst and miss out on precious moments in our children's lives because of the lie that our bodies are not good enough. May we be the change we want to see. Quote, "Giving birth and being born brings us into the essence of creation, where the human spirit is courageous and bold, and the body a miracle of wisdom." Harriet Hartigan. You just listened to the post titled Diet Culture, How the Diet Industry is Hurting Moms by Crystal Karges of crystalkarges.com. Dr. Neal here for my commentary. Let's take a second to clarify things a bit. I'm going to assume that today's author, Crystal, agrees with me here. Rapid weight loss postpartum is not the goal. But let's be honest. Many will want to lose some of that baby weight at some point, and that's perfectly fine and reasonable. In fact, hanging on to too much body weight postpartum can be harmful, not only to their health, but their baby's health in later pregnancies. It's the trying to lose as much of that baby weight as fast as possible to meet some imaginary ideal that's the problem. So, how to lose that baby weight safely? Luckily, researchers have studied this. And based on the results of these studies, the ways to lose the weight aren't very earth-shattering. A recent meta-analysis looked at previously published studies on weight loss among individuals postpartum. They found that dieting and exercise combined led to twice as much weight loss when compared to exercise alone. Now here's the really cool thing. You remember earlier this week, I was ranting and raving about how important keeping a food diary was? Well, here's what the researchers found. Diet and exercise, when combined with keeping food records of body weight and foods consumed, resulted in, get this, 3 times more weight loss when compared to those that didn't keep the records. See, there's a method to my madness. So, the keys to managing weight postpartum goes back to the basics. Eat a balanced diet with a slight reduction in calories, exercise regularly, and keeping track of all of those things. All right, that'll do it for the Saturday episode. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend if you're listening in real time, and I'll be back here tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.